Dad Space. You know, you've been here before. Maybe you're coming back again? Maybe. It's Dad Space. What is Dad Space, you ask? Can I answer that? Go ahead, please. Dad Space is a podcast for dads by dads. Whoa. You're not kidding. This is it. This is really it. This is Dad Space. Yes, it is. This is the place for dads to connect and to do life together. It's Dad Space. There's no space like Dad Space. Right here. So in a recent episode of Dad Space, I shared my 3 people in my life. And I got a response back from one of the listeners, which was amazing. Thank you so much. And they shared a clip with me, which I'm going to share later here in the episode, that's our episode sparked something in their mind. They found it. They sent it to me, and I'm going to share it with you because they shared it with me, and it's inspiring. So to jump back in a previous episode, I talked about 3 people. And if you haven't heard it, go back, listen to our other episodes. There's a lot of good stuff here. This isn't the only episode that's amazing. Okay, I've set the bar really high. There's 3 people in my life that I'm focused on. And I'll give this to you quick, and in more detail, you can go back to a previous episode and you can hear it yourself. 3 people. I have a person ahead of me, somebody I look up to, somebody I want to be like. Number 2, somebody who's doing life with me, next to me, somebody that is kind of in the same boat, same stage of life. And number 3, somebody behind me that is maybe hasn't caught up to where I am right now or looks up to me. Those are the 3 people in my life that I'm trying to focus in on. And Dad Space, the idea of all of this is that we will be able to create a place where we can make those genuine connections. It goes beyond listening to a podcast. It goes beyond interacting with an Instagram post or a TikTok. This is the opportunity to actually do life with a real human being in a real space outside of social media, not on Facebook. I think I'm in like 40 Facebook groups right now, and they get hardly any of my attention because there's just so much. And there's so much distraction on Facebook, on social media. You go on with one intention that you're going to do this one thing. You're going to talk to this one person, and then all of a sudden you've seen 35 cat videos and you've learned 15 new TikTok dances that you didn't even know you needed in life. And you're like, why am I here again? I forget what I'm doing. It's not really a sign of old age. It's just a little bit of too much information and too much out there at the moment on social media. So we're building something off of social media. We're building something for dads where we can get together and we can do life together. It's going to be based on a platform. We're looking at Mighty Networks. It's an off social media platform thing, and we're looking at developing something there. So Dad Space is coming. Dadspace.ca, still in the process of building it all up. But again, social media is always the best place to find us and to connect with us. But we posted that episode earlier, as I mentioned, and someone reached out, one of the dads reached out and shared this clip with me. And I wanted to share it with you as well. It's Matthew McConaughey, and he's accepting an award for his amazing acting career. And he talks about the fact that he didn't even know if he was going to win in this particular category. And what I love is he mentions in this clip that, he knew that he was the only person with the letter M who was nominated. So if he heard the of the beginning of the word starting with an M, he knew that he won. And so he's listening to them as they call out the winner of this award, and they start calling his name, and he's overwhelmed by being nominated by his fellow actors and the industry, and he didn't have a script prepared. He didn't have a speech. He felt that was not the right way to come to this event prepared to speak. But he shares his version of what I shared in the previous podcast, his version of the three people that he has in his life. I find it interesting because one of the people he talks about is quite unique, and we'll talk about it after we share it. But here's a part of his acceptance of speech. Listen to his words very carefully, and then we'll jump back here at the end and kind of unpack this a little bit. But here he is, Matthew McConaughey, his acceptance speech, and I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you pick up on some of the things that he mentions, because he's got some pretty good insight here. Matthew McConaughey on Dad's Space. Really? Yeah, here it is. Here's the speech.
First off, I want to thank God, because that's who I look up to. To my family, that's who and what I look forward to. And to my hero, that's who I chase. I'm chasing me in 10 years. My hero's me in 10 years. That's a form of the first one of someone to look up to, but for me, it's the mortal version of who am I going to become? My hero's always 10 years away. I'm never going to be my hero. I'm not going to attain that. I know I'm not, and that's just fine with me because that keeps me with somebody to keep on chasing. So to any of us, whatever those things are, whatever it is we look up to, whatever it is we look forward to, and whoever it is we're chasing, to that I say amen. To that I say, all right, all right, all right.
So I really enjoy that clip from Matthew McConaughey and his acceptance speech. And I love how he talks about his hero being himself, that he's working towards and he's growing towards, and he keeps moving that hero image further and further along as he grows and as he ages. And that he has a really clear concept of who impacts his life and who he is striving to become like and to grow towards. It's pretty powerful. And as a dad, my hope is that you have a pretty clear indication of who it is in your life that you are working towards, you are building for. And that you have a really clear concept of who you are right now. Because the one thing I've learned about being a dad, and the one thing I've learned in speaking to dads and listening to dads, is at no point has a dad ever arrived at that finish line. At no point has a dad ever said that I've gained all the wisdom there is to know about fatherhood. I know everything about being a great partner and spouse and dad and mentor and resource. Those high and lofty claims of understanding and knowing, if they come from someone, I really question it. Because I know that as much as I've learned in my 20, 30 years of being a dad, there's so much more to know. And the moment I walked out of that hospital with my children when they were born, the overwhelming sense of you need to know what you're doing here, and the inadequacy of, well, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't know who to help me. And if you don't have a dad anymore, like myself, I don't have a father-in-law, I don't have a dad, I don't have grandfathers. This is it. To be a great dad, you need dads around you. You need to find those people. That's what Dad Space is all about. Let somebody be your hero. Be your own hero, but also find heroes that you can look up to. And that's what Dad Space is all about, guys. And I'm so happy that we can share this space together. I hope this is inspiring, and I hope that you plan on coming back for another episode. Because Dad Space is all about you. 100%. Dad Space Podcast, all social media platforms. Check us out. Thank you for being here, guys. Talk soon. Dad Space. Cheers. Thanks for listening to Dad Space today. Go check us out on all of our social media, YouTube, all that great stuff. You can find us as Dad Space Podcast. Real simple. Dad Space Podcast, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, even YouTube. Email us, dadspacepodcast@gmail.com. We're always looking for great guests to come on the podcast. If you have any feedback for us, what do we do good? What do we need to work on? Let us know here at Dad Space. Looking forward to connecting with you on the next episode. It's coming up right now. Just let this keep playing and it'll automatically come. Follow us on your podcast app for more. Cheers. To you, Dad. Thank you.